Normally, we would start with podcasts every day in either April or August. However, we had to push back. So we're calling it PEDS, or Podcast Every Day in September, where you'll hear various topics that will likely have nothing to do with sports, but you'll definitely get a good feel of what's going on in the world thanks to PEDS. Episode 208 of The Pass is here, continuing the PEDS flow with Podcast Every Day in September. What's going on, y'all? I'm your host, BT. Not really do a lot of aggressive salutations and long-winded BS. We're going to hit a topic, and I'm going to be broad, descriptive, simple, but bring it home only as I know how. I will forewarn you, this will be one of the topics that I will give a little bit more attention to in the weekly shows. Next week, it'll likely be on Sunday. But I wanted to at least get this out of the way now because I think it's important to state the obvious. People need to really learn how to get out of their feelings when decisions are made by businesses, or business people. So if you have been under a rock or may or may not have heard, Colin Kaepernick and he's been with Nike all along, but I think the misinterpretation of it is that it wasn't seen as having more volume than it does now. And I'll explain what I mean in saying that so I can make sure I get the article itself as far as what's being presented. Nike is unveiling their 30th anniversary Just Do It campaign, which, number one, that puts a lot into perspective for me in realizing that Nike's been out since I was 5 or 6, give or take. But they're deciding to make Kaepernick the face. Nike's been paying Colin Kaepernick all this time and just waiting for the right moment. First thing I'm going to say, because someone asked me this question and I kind of gave an immediate answer, but I really didn't think about the impact because I also had to look at other athletes and really break down when something occurs, what does a person lose or what's taken away. So by nature, when everyone looked at the situation with Kaepernick, it was like, well, what did he lose other than the NFL? And I'm open to being accountable and looking at things in full circle. He lost literally his livelihood. It would be as if someone who's working a job, you lose your job. You have all of these other things and items and technology and your car, investments or whatever, but you still don't have your job. So it's either you find a new job or you just sulk in the fact that you're not working. Kaepernick was put in a position to do such based on him making, in his case, it was a little different. He made a decision of, well, I'm not even going to say it's different because if a person leaves a business to look for another job or if they're doing business for themselves, same thing. But Kaepernick was pretty much, I don't want to say exonerated, or it almost was as if he was singled out because he made a decision to kneel during the anthem, which the NFL misinterpreted, which the media misinterpreted. He even got, approval from folks who were in the services or in the service to say this would be your way of bringing attention to police brutality. It had nothing to do with the anthem. And that's very important. So I bring the Nike part of this into the podcast title because now that this announcement has circulated and hit media, like I said, I'm giving a little quick shot of it now, but I'll really give a full taste of it next week. But now that he's made this choice, it's turned into, oh, he's a horrible individual. Why would someone do such a thing? I don't understand your end game as far as, and I'm giving all those paraphrases, but the main meat of it is people have now decided that they're going to cut the Nike logos off of their merchandise that has Nike, as well as burn any shoes that are Nike shoes. So I'm going to give you all, because I've said this, I saw Shannon Sharp tweeting about this, and I knew this for a while, but it's just ironic because I posted about this on my personal Twitter page at Brights82. Shameless plug. But technically speaking, Converse is part of Nike. If anyone has or has not done this yet, go to Converse.com and look in the top left-hand corner. You're going to see the Nike check. Nike has the rights to Converse. The design and create your own Converse, Nike ID. Keep up, y'all. Putting that into the brain cells for a moment. That then entails, for those of you who are wanting to burn and get rid of your Nike apparel, does that mean you run and start cutting your Chuck logos off of your Chucks and you start burning your Chuck Taylors? I'll tell you what's not going to happen with me. I own at least 5 or 6 pairs of Converse. None of them are going to be touched. And even if something like this were to occur and I had an issue with the Kaepernick space, there's no gain in me burning or destroying my equipment that I've already purchased. That would be like Blue Microphones having a comment being made and I say, you know what, I'm not going to support Blue Apparel. Let me take my microphone and destroy it. No, I'm going to still use the microphone. I just wouldn't give them as much shine or attention. That's just a side example, but it's just something to think about. Now, let's bring it even closer to those who have their feelings for and or against where the NFL is with this. Or, well, not even the NFL, but with Nike. But you're still watching the NFL. Better yet, I'll even take it one step further. You're still watching basketball. Basketballs, the NBA jerseys, sponsored by Nike. The Jordan brand, part of Nike before. The NFL just renewed their contract with Nike. So you're doing these things to make an impact, thinking that you're quote unquote sticking it to the man or you're upset with Nike. But there's nothing being gained because first and foremost, you've already bought the product. So the money has been made in the business aspect. Okay? Now I'm really going to bring it home because this part is what I just, America's America, you know, quote unquote land of the free, but freedom is questionable. LeBron has made decisions over his career to go to different teams. When he leaves a team, when he left Cleveland the first time, they burned his jersey. When he left Miami to go back to Cleveland, they burned his jersey. When he went from Cleveland to LA, they burned his jersey. They took the sign down. The Nike check has been cut. He's made the money. I'm using this as an example, but it's going to put some circle. It's going to circulate some things because these are all players or athletes sponsored by Nike. We burn jerseys for LeBron. Durant was with Oklahoma, goes to Golden State, looked at as the villain in a sense. He's a snake, whatever. We burned the Oklahoma City jersey. Nike made the money off of the jersey. He's still sponsored by Nike. No problems there. Now let's go global. Let's take it away from basketball, bring it back to football, aka soccer. Neymar was with Barcelona for an eternity. If I'm remembering correctly, I believe Barcelona's sponsor is Nike. And I'm going to check this because I don't want to give false information. Okay, good. I was on point. Barcelona's sponsored by Nike. If we want to go a step further, I want to say he's with Neymar himself is with Nike. Neymar leaves Barcelona to go to PSG. Was a big uproar? Was there a big scene regarding that? Of course not. Who or why would someone do such a thing? Cristiano Ronaldo won 3 of the last 4 or 4 of the last 5 Champions League cups, and has dominated with Real Madrid. Goes to Juventus. We didn't see any Real Madrid jerseys get burned, but the Ronaldo CM7s, Nike. Still all I'm giving a Nike reference. I'm not sure, and I don't want to confirm. I don't want to say this blindly because I believe Real Madrid is Nike, but I'm not sure. Because like I said, teams will switch up on you in a second. And okay, my bad. They're Adidas, but nonetheless, Real Madrid, even with them being Adidas, Ronaldo's Nike. But Ronaldo made his choice. There wasn't any jerseys burned. I give the Nike part just to kind of be petty because that really has nothing to do with it directly. But to tie it into the America doing things American way or whatever, just because you're not buying or you're not planning to support Nike, Nike's not going to lose business. I noticed I still need to read the story in depth because Under Armour had a window of Steph Curry had a window of being looked at with Nike and he chose Under Armour. He had his preference and reasons, and he's been with them to this day and it hasn't been a bad decision. But if you look at the players in the NBA who are Nike sponsored, all isn't lost. And they're like LeBron's shoes are still going to sell. Kevin Durant's shoes are still going to sell. There are players who come into the NBA and play in summer leagues. De'Aaron Fox even has said it. I think it was a situation. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Kyrie Irving, sponsored by Nike. Kyrie Irving, same situation as LeBron and Durant. He left Cleveland to go to Boston. Let's burn his Cleveland jersey. He's not loyal. He's not faithful. It's a business. Nike is a business. The Colin Kaepernick acquisition with Nike is business based, but it's also them knowing that this is an opportunity. And to make matters worse, people feel as though, well, if they're supporting him, then I'm not going to wear Nike. Okay, you do your thing, sir. But they're gonna make their money. So don't worry your head too heavily thinking that you're impacting their income or their revenue. They're gonna be fine. Trust me. It's I would almost say Nike's a multi-billion-dollar business because LeBron, Durant, and Kyrie alone have shown the creativity in designing shoes with Nike. So I give all of those athletes spinning away from just the Kaepernick story, because initially there was a talk about him having merchandise. That story, if I'm confirming correctly, is false, but he still is part of the 30-year anniversary for Nike. And people are up in arms about it. Anyone that's really and genuinely upset with Kaepernick and what he's done, do you really know why you're upset? It's almost, and this is a spinoff or a random example, those who do or don't like various artists who sing or perform, is there genuinely a reason why you do or don't like that artist? Did they do something to you? Was there something that triggered you or got you in your feelings and you're upset about it? I mean, as humans, we have a right to have our feelings towards various things. But is it really triggered to the extent that you're gonna play whiff and dodge and just not acknowledge that person or that situation? with Kaepernick and Nike, this is going where it has. There's no benefit or nothing gained from saying I'm not gonna buy Nike products, or I'm gonna cut the Nike logo out of my products. Let me know how it works out cutting that Nike symbol off of the side of tennis shoes. Or better yet, off of the sole of your shoes. Just putting it out there. And as I said earlier in the show, and as I'm saying now, to keep yourselves and keep your minds relieved and under duress or whatever, remember, Converse is part of Nike. If you did not know that now, that is what I want to leave you with, if nothing else. Businesses are going to do what it takes to make the money. As people who are consumers, as well as employees of businesses, employees' objective is to make the money. Whether it's through overtime, whether it's through taking time off and getting paid for it. However the money is being made, it's being made to handle your business and adult and make sure everything's afloat. So that's what I want to leave y'all with today, as far as with the Kaepernick story, and primarily with Nike, and just kind of give a little bit of this is one of the rare sports stories that I'm doing, because this story has gotten a lot of attention and it's gained legs very unexpectedly. And like I said, I went on Twitter and ran it and retweeted a lot. I kind of relaxed a little bit. And also, as y'all, as I did mention, or as the title stated yesterday, I celebrated my birthday yesterday. So I kind of was a little relaxed about a lot of it, because in hindsight, it genuinely and realistically isn't that serious. There are bigger fish to fry. But obviously, this is a critical situation, because people are to the point where burning merchandise is going to solve the solution. No one did this with police brutality, and I've seen this be mentioned online. No one has done this with any hate crime or any anger crime. It would be an ironic situation to be petty. Well, no, matter of fact, I'll be petty in this way and I'll let it go. I don't know if I want to. I'm gonna be PG, because I still got to keep my brand reputable. But those who are in higher companies that have their thoughts or angst towards African Americans, or those who are not of their race, hopefully none of those members of those major groups wear Nike. And I'll leave it at that. So until next time, I know that's a weird way to end, but if you know the reference or you're not sure, passpodcastbt@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to deep dive into that discussion, because I feel like it needs to be pointed out. And I may not have said this earlier, as far as what Kaepernick lost. He didn't just lose his career, but he also lost his sponsorships. And trying to regain sponsorships while practically indirectly rebranding is not an easy process for anyone or anything, because it's mentally the true definition of starting over. And that's just kind of the way to look at it. So thank you all for tuning in. Continue to listen to the shows each day. I will be, since I'm doing my early shifts, be doing the shows before work. Today was a before work. Tomorrow and Friday it will be a post show, so you may as well prepare for it to be podcast after dark. All right, y'all. It's been real. That's it for our show. Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to go back and listen to any previous episode, you can go to Spreaker.com/BrideTapePodcast, or you can go to PastPodcast.com, where you can listen to all of the latest shows, as well as shows from when this podcast first began. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, the Past signing out.